So I went to a dinner in Napa with my husband and a friend, and it was like a pretty expensive dinner, and we got not great service, and then we ended up just being kind of like all like quibbling about how much we should tip, and then we started talking about like the Stripe or Square checkout things that are at cafes, and just this whole thing where I've been seeing it more. There's just an interesting backlash against tipping, and I feel that to some degree. But coming back to what I said before, I was kind of like, I have this frustration with some of the tipping changes, but I also am like, what's the other side to this? Like, what would someone else say about the people who need the tips, etc.? So I said, hey, ChatGPT, could you provide me with a debate between two people arguing about whether tipping should exist in America? And then it did, and it's like, I didn't even, by the way, ask for this format, but it literally broke down like there's a moderator, and then there's like this guy named Alex talking to Jordan, and it just breaks down in really clear bullet points what each side would say. And I just thought it was really helpful to, I guess, understand both sides, and obviously you can apply this to way more controversial topics than tipping.
How did it change, if it did at all, how did it change how you think about tipping?
Well, I feel like, did I ask any additional questions here? I mean, let me look at this real quick because I'm trying to refresh my memory. I do know that in going down the rabbit hole around tipping and doing additional research, I learned a lot more about the history of tipping and where it came from. Did you know it actually came from Europe and then was brought to America? And then people in Europe thought it was too aristocratic, so then they actually like got rid of it. And then it's like, it's very interesting, and there's like slavery that was involved in it, and it's an interesting phenomena because it is not universal. Every country tips differently.
That is interesting. It's also one of those things where once you get into a specific regime, like tipping or not tipping, it's very hard to flip. So like in New York, there's this guy, Danny Meyer, who's like runs Union Square Hospitality Group, which owns Shake Shack and a bunch of like really nice restaurants. And they decided to eliminate tipping and to make their menu prices reflect the like a living wage for their staff.
Well, that's my argument as well. I just think it should be like, I don't think people should make less. I just think it should be in the price
of the meal
scheme. And then I also think, by the way, if it is just a tax, which it feels like, right? This whole idea of like you tip like around 20%, then that's okay. But just like, then it should be marketed or branded that way, in my opinion. Not this like societal, like people say that tipping is to reward people for their actions. Well, I feel like if that's true, then there should be a way wider range. That's my argument. It's like, bake it into the price as much as you can, but then also I would like to reward really great waiters or waitresses, but I'd like to reward them 50% and then not reward the people who don't do a good job or pay, or give them 5, right? And
it's a really interesting, like, complicated issue, and like the thing that they found in Union Square Hospitality Group is they tried to do it, and they did, but I think that they had to stop because when you're the only one that doesn't have tipping, customers feel like your menu is more expensive, and I think the wait staff, they're making a better base wage, but some of them make a lot of money with tips, so especially the best people are less likely to want to work there because they can go make more elsewhere. And so it's like really hard to change once it's either once you have tipping, it's hard to get rid of it, and once you don't have tipping, it's hard to add it.